David Ornstein has confirmed Aaron Ramsdale will be having his medical today with Southampton. And Fabrizio Romano has given Arsenal fans and the world an update with Juan Garcia, who will be his replacement. We're also going to be talking about Arsenal potentially signing a new forward on loan with links to Kingsley Coman and new forward being linked Luis Openda, who I will be absolutely furious if they get him over the line. If you're new to the channel, please do go down, hit that subscribe button. The road to 25,000 subscribers is well and truly on, and we are less than 50 subscribers now away from 20 seen, and still 75% of everyone who's watched the channel this month is not subscribed. So what are you waiting for? If we could hit, and we're a bit ambitious today, if we could hit 500 likes, maybe even 1,000 likes, that would be absolutely glorious. But we are steamrolling our way towards 21,000 subscribers. Now, we'll start with David Ornstein's report coming out with regards to Aaron Ramsdale, who will be having his medical at Southampton today. And it says, Ramsdale undergoing medical at Southampton before completing permanent switch from Arsenal. 26-year-old goalkeeper joining Saints on a proposed 4-year plus 1-year extension. 18 million up front, 1 million on Premier League survival, 6 million on further incentives, max 25 million. I think the £1 million in add-ons is, I think Arsenal should have asked for more, in my personal opinion. When you look at the Premier League, the 3 favourites to go down are Southampton, Leicester and Ipswich. And so far, Southampton, Leicester and Ipswich have struggled in both of their games in the Premier League. Leicester drew against Tottenham, which they were battered in. Southampton lost to Newcastle, albeit Newcastle had 10 men for 65 minutes. And Ipswich have played Liverpool and Manchester City. So the likelihood of Arsenal actually getting that £1 million on Premier League survival is quite slim. I'm not entirely sure what the other 6 million for further incentives are, but it's going to be max a £25 million fee. But it's a player that I also think Arsenal probably should have got more on the fee as well. I thought about it. You know, Broja went from Chelsea to Ipswich for around, £30 million. Amari Hutchinson went to Ipswich for around £30 million, and he's only played 41 minutes of Premier League football. I don't really look at Aaron Ramsdale at 18 million up front as, if I was an Arsenal fan, I would be somewhat disappointed in the fee. But at the same time, it's a player who's not in the manager's plans. It's a player who wants first team football. So you kind of have to move him on at the price that the clubs are negotiating for. And Fabrizio Romano has come out with regards to Aaron Ramsdale's replacement, and that is Juan Garcia, who is going to be a new Arsenal goalkeeper. Agents Juanma Lopez and Andy Barra bring the proposal to Espanyol, worth 20 million, add-ons included. Espanyol are asking for a 30 million euro clause. Juan Garcia has agreed terms with Arsenal and wants Arsenal now. I believe he played last night and was man of the match for in the game he played. I believe it was for Espanyol against Atletico Madrid. He made 7 saves, and they actually had a relatively good defensive performance, and he come out with man of the match according to Arsenal sources. So he's going to be an Arsenal player. Whether he's going to be as good as Aaron Ramsdale or not is yet to be seen. But there are still reports coming out there saying that the fee is 10 million euro apart, but they will probably meet in the middle around the 25 million euro for the fee. Now, there is just over 1 day left of the transfer window, and there's still every forward on the planet being linked to a move to Arsenal. And interestingly, an Arsenal ITK put out a report from a journalist, and he had the Kingsley Coman tweet as his pinned tweet on Twitter, and now that has been taken down. Now there's new links out there from Luis Openda. He absolute baller. I really think he is a very, very good player in my opinion. Didn't really get the minutes he deserved at the Euros, but we'll talk about Luis Openda because he's one of the players being linked with a move to Arsenal. His record in the Bundesliga and Liga 1 is very, very good. His record in the Champions League is good. I remember the games he played home and away against Manchester City. You know, his career record is actually relatively good across the board. We're going to bring up his numbers now. But, you know, he's played at Vitesse. He's played at Club Brugge. He's played at Leipzig. He's played at RC Lens. 21 goals and 4 assists to 25 GA in 42 games for Lens. 36 goal contributions in 47 for Leipzig. 9 in 53 for Club Brugge. And 48 goal contributions in 88 for Vitesse. Now, he is somewhat versatile, which is exactly what Arteta loves in players. In terms of his Champions League record, he's got 8 games for Leipzig, 4 goals. He's got a fantastic Bundesliga record as well. For Lens, he got 25 GA in the 38 games in the league. In the Bundesliga, he was practically the replacement for Christopher Nkunku, who left Leipzig. He can play on the left. He's played 2 games this season at centre forward, one in the DFB Pokal, one in the Bundesliga. But across his career, majority of the games have been at centre forward, about 90%. But he has played at left wing for the national side, and I do think he could play as a left winger in some games for Arsenal. 31 GA in 35 games in the Bundesliga is an absolutely ridiculous record. His record in the Eredivisie, he's done it in 3 leagues now. It's not like you're looking at a Victor Osimhen who's only done it in 2 or a Victor Gyökeres who's only done it in 2. He's done it in the Bundesliga, Eredivisie, and Liga 1, and has 4 goals in 8 games in the Champions League for Leipzig. The other games were where he was playing at Club Brugge, I believe. But his record is very, very good in my opinion, and I do think he could be a fantastic addition for Arsenal. When you look at his numbers more in isolation, they are very, very, very good. When you look at his actual stats per 90, he excels on a lot of stats. His shooting stats, he's in the top 6% of non-penalty XG and non-penalty goals in Europe compared to all forwards. You look at these numbers, his assists, he's in the top 29%, expected goals, top 21%, NPXG, top 8%, total shots, top 7%. And when you compare him to strikers, he's compared to Ollie Watkins, Darwin Núñez, funny enough, another player linked to Arsenal, Aubameyang, Alexander Isak, Harry Kane, Dusan Vlahovic, Eli Wahi, who I believe has just joined Marseille, who they originally wanted Eddie Nketiah. But there's a lot of talented strikers on there that he is similar to. I personally believe if they were to get him over the line, that is the sort of signing that they could then go on and win the league title on. Someone like Luis Openda. Another player who's being heavily linked is Kingsley Coman. Now, he has got a lot of links out there to players in Saudi. Clubs in Saudi are very, very interested in. And Sami Mokbel has put out, according to AFC Stuff, and Sami Mokbel at times can be a very reliable source. Arsenal have explored a swoop for Kingsley Coman ahead of Friday's transfer deadline. The cost of bringing Coman to the club will be very key towards any successful move, particularly given the lucrative wages offer to the player in the Middle East. Now, if you look at Kingsley Coman's wages, just to give you some sort of context, at Bayern Munich, he is on 326,923 euros a week, which is absolutely extraordinary. And he's been offered north of 300,000 or 400,000. As you can see, that's his current salary breakdown. And apparently he has been offered north of 400,000 euros. Now, Arsenal are not exactly skint by any stretch of the imagination, but if you're Kingsley Coman and you've got Arsenal and you've got Saudi after you, surely you're going to join the Premier League. And he's a player who's 28 years of age. You know, he's won countless trophies, countless league titles. He's played in Germany, Serie A, and Ligue 1, and he's won all 3 league titles. If he were to join Arsenal, he could add another league title to the set. Let us know your thoughts down below. I personally believe he would be a good addition to Arsenal. I'm just not sure at present if Arsenal can compete anywhere near the salary that he is being offered out in Saudi Arabia. Another player I want to talk about, still remaining on Arsenal, is the likes of Jakub Kiwior, who, according to a lot of Arsenal ITKs, is not going anywhere. Now, Sky Sports also come out saying, we'll come back to Kiwior in 1 second. I've just seen this. An unnamed Premier League club has explored the conditions for a deal for Kingsley Coman. You look at that logically, that's probably Arsenal. Liverpool have just brought in Chiesa. Man City don't need a winger. Chelsea have got 15 wingers on their payroll. You know, I don't think there's anyone else really. Villa can't afford his wages. It's probably Arsenal that are heavily linked. Now, Jakub Kiwior is an interesting situation at Arsenal because the depth they've got across the back line, and with the new Champions League format of 8 games in the Champions League, 38 in the league, that's 46. Minimum, you'd imagine Arsenal play 5 games, 6 games in the League Cup and FA Cup. As a bare minimum, they're probably going to have 50 games this season. Overall, collectively, across the board, they've got good options at defense. They've got, you know, Zinchenko and Timber that can play left back. They've got Tomiyasu and Ben White who can play right back. They've got good options at centre back. All of their players can practically cover in centre back. They've got Gabriel and Saliba, who is the best centre back pairing at the league at the moment. And of course, they've got Kiwior, who has played at left back, at centre back, and at left sided centre back. I think he will probably remain an Arsenal player. And if he's going to get game time, it's probably going to be in and around the... You'd imagine in and around the cup games, he will get majority of his minutes, and in games where they're playing not exactly the strongest of 11s in the Premier League. You know, you would imagine as it stands right now, if they are prepared to keep him, then he's obviously going to get a certain amount of game time. There's no way he'd be staying around, and Arteta would want to keep him in the there's no way they'd want to keep him in and around the club if he hasn't been promised some game time. But look, we are going to wrap up. Do you think Arsenal, according to reports, they are prepared to take a new forward on loan? Is it going to be Luis Openda, or is it going to be the likes of Kingsley Coman? Let me know your thoughts down below. Make sure you have subscribed. Make sure you have liked the stream. And I will see you all in the next one. I am